Hello and welcome to another episode of City Skylines. In this episode we're going to look at creating a custom death care facility. And to do so we're going to go ahead and open up the editor and open up the asset editor and we're going to load. In this case I've already made the custom asset, and rather than watch me click through making it step by step, we're going to go ahead and just look at it at a high level and show it in use. So as you can see in this photo, this new asset is the Advanced Crematorium. The Advanced Crematorium is intended to resolve the problem that I've labeled the death spikes. We'll talk about death a little bit more when we drop this into a functioning city. So at first glance, you'll notice that it is the standard crematorium here in the center with its dual exhaust. I've enlarged the site to 12 by 4. On the right we have a park-like area decorated with flowers, benches, light posts. So here on the left we have an industrial looking area with garbage cans, covered parking, a little workshop, and over here we have a number of air conditioning units, as well as a door that would lead down into a subterranean storage area. So the premise of this site is that it can store a large number of bodies until they can be processed. In order to do that, we do need power. With that in mind, let's look at the stats on this building. I put together a quick spreadsheet that shows the existing cemetery, the existing crematorium, and now the new Advanced Crematorium. You'll notice that it consumes more than double the energy of both the cemetery and the crematorium combined. And this goes to keeping it fair, keeping it realistic. You'll also notice that it's quite expensive, more than both the cemetery and the crematorium combined, because all the cooling equipment necessary to make this possible. The burial rate, which is the rate that bodies are processed, slightly higher than the base crematorium. The storage capacity being more than 10 times that of the base crematorium, the death care radius being a little larger, and that's inspired by the incineration plant garbage collection radius. The grave count being 0 because there are no permanent graves, only temporary storage, and the hearse count is just under the sum of the two. Alright, so let's look at this in a game. Here we are in Westwood, which is being built out for the series on unlocking the achievement Industrial Tycoon. If we open up the healthcare menu and we scroll over to the end, we'll see our new Advanced Crematorium. Its upkeep at $880 a week, its base cost at $50,000, its capacity at 1,500, and its pollution and noise pollution at 0 each. Now you'll see we have a few of these already plopped down in the city, so let's go ahead and check on one. You'll note that the storage rate is pretty low comparative to the total. Now to get a sense of why build these in the first place, really justify the stats, we want to go ahead and look at the city statistics and look at the death rate. And here we can see those death spikes that I mentioned earlier. You'll note that when the city was smaller, the death rate spiked up, fell back off, the city grew as I built out a new section, but again another death spike, and so on. And as the city gets bigger, these spikes continue to get larger with each passing occurrence. Now in this one case where the death rate jumped dramatically, this was the result of a tsunami that struck the city back in the year of 2031 from the looks of it, and a massive amount of individuals was lost. This smaller spike is the result of a tornado that passed through not too long ago. And in both of these cases, having that extra storage capacity allowed those bodies to be stored until they could be properly processed, without having to constantly turn on and off cemeteries, on and off crematoriums. Now if we look at the casualties from disaster map, you'll see that we have those two big spikes, a couple smaller disasters that really didn't have a large influence. These were both sinkholes. And when we look at the birth rate, you'll see a bunch of people move in and have kids all at the same time. You end up with this spiky trajectory. And as the city grows, these spikes get larger. And as the spikes get larger, it becomes increasingly difficult to deal with all the bodies all at once. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to see what happens to Westwood, check out the series on unlocking the achievement Industrial Tycoon.